I really haven't talked about how I started a wildfire before. Wow. I guess I'll tell the story. Some friends and I in college wanted to go, I believe, as the proper terminology goes, spelunking. You know what this
Cave
is?
diving.
Yeah, cave diving,
Cave
right?
diving.
So somehow in the northwestern part of Oklahoma, in the Panhandle, there's actually a big series of caves. Uh, so I don't know why. I don't know what geography led to that, but whatever, it's a thing. So um, a friend of mine, her family owned a bunch of land up there, and they had a bunch of caves. So we went up there one time. We tried to camp out and do a little spelunking, and we got kind of rained out. So it was rough. It rained a lot. We were worried about tornadoes. Blah blah blah. So we decided we're going to go back a few months later. And now we know what's up. Now we're experts at this. So we pack a giant cooler, big bags. We're going to stay at this tiny little trailer on the property. Marianne goes for the first time. We are set. So we get up in the morning. We're going to go spelunking all day long. I get onto the brand new four-wheeler that we have. Someone else gets on the old four-wheeler. Someone else is driving their SUV. And we load everything. And my buddy's like, all right, man, put everything in the car because we want to have it in the car in case we need it, because if we, it's really difficult to come back, whatever, it's a long way from the trailer to where we're going. I'm like, okay, yeah, so we just load it all up into the car and we go out and, we have some fun.
This sounds like the start to one of Jason's favorite 80s horror movies.
Yeah. It's Oklahoma in the summer, so it's hot, and I don't know why we ever thought any of this was a good idea in the first place. But we're having an okay time. We're driving around, going in some caves, seeing, there's bats, whatever.
You're having an okay time?
Yeah, right.
In Oklahoma?
Yeah, get it? So then...
Hashtag okay preps.
So then I'm driving in, I'm on the four-wheeler, and I'm following them, and the car gets stuck just in the tall grass. And we're like, okay, well, I don't know what's up with this. So we start looking at it, and apparently there's kind of a little, just probably like a little creek bed, right? Nothing like super crazy drop-off, but a good couple feet that left the car hanging off the edge and unable to drive, right? So we're like, okay, this sucks, but we're in the country. This is why we have all this. So we hook up the brand new four-wheeler to the car to try to pull it out. And we work pretty hard on it for a few minutes and just pulling on it, but it's just not going. The car's just stuck. We're like, okay, well, this kind of sucks. Then all of a sudden, I hear somebody yell, holy shit. And I look up and I see that we have flames coming out from underneath the car. And I'm like, uh-oh. I look underneath the car. Yeah, it's fucking going under there. So my buddy looks at me, he looks me dead in the eyes and goes, as we're rushing to grab the cooler, and we are just, full on like a movie scene, just, hands over our shoulders, throwing everything out behind us as fast as we possibly can.
Wait, what's in the cooler?
The water, the ice that we'd ice down our lunch with. Right? That's all we have.
You said there's a stream.
It said a creek bed.
I'm saying, yeah, it's like a creek bed, dry creek bed that the car got stuck in, right? So we empty out this cooler as fast as we can, and my best friend looks at me and he goes, all right, we got one chance at this. And he just like looks me dead in the eyes. I'm like, yeah, man, I got you. So we plan this out perfectly. We hoist the cooler, 1, 2, 3, dump it on the fire, and absolutely nothing happened. It just kept being a fire. So at that point, we realized that this is probably pretty bad. So then someone goes, oh no, what about the gas tank? Because, when flames hit gas tanks in cars, it blows up. We've all seen that in movies, right? So someone's like, oh shit, and starts running or whatever, right? So I reach in the car, I grab my wallet and my phone because someone's going to have to call 911, and we leave everything else in there and start running because we're worried the gas tank's going to blow up. And that's how we started a 20-acre wildfire.
Wow.
Woo!
That escalated quickly.
Yeah. At the end of this, we go back, we literally run. And we run through barbed wire fences. It's just a disaster. So that's what we do. And the fire department in this little town, probably half volunteer fire department, comes out, puts out the wildfire. I think it was like 20-something acres that burned. We go to our car, and it is a burned out husk of a car. And the brand new uninsured four-wheeler was also burnt to a crisp.
Woo!
Fortunately, the old insured four-wheeler was perfectly fine. It was on some rocks. But all of our clothes were in the car.
He didn't ride.
All of our bags were in the car. We had everything we needed in case we needed to change or whatever, right? So everything we have is in the car, and now it's all burnt to a crisp. And the only thing that survives is, my phone and my wallet and what we had on our back. So we all just kind of looked at each other and we're like, I guess we go home now, right? Like, I don't know what else are you supposed to do with this? So we put, 5 people into my 3-person truck and drove home, and we've never gone back since.
You're probably not welcome, to be fair.
Well, I think maybe.
I mean, it could have been worse. It could have been
later.
like
I don't remember
a gender reveal party, and a firework could have hit a piece of brush, and then you owe the city or state like $18 million or whatever.
I don't think they're gonna charge her $18 million. Most people don't make that in their lifetime. I don't think it's.
No, I know, but he's on like a 20-year payment plan or something, and then like he's just still gonna have to pay like for the rest of his life or something.
You're talking about a guy who started a wildfire?
Yeah, this was on the news like a while back.
Well, wasn't it a woman that did it? It was. I knew it was a border patrol
family.
agent.
I think it was the guy who was the one who officially got charged. I think, but it was a gender reveal party for a baby.
Yeah.
And the guy who like lit the fireworks or something hit some brush and just like caused $1 billion in damages or something absurd.
That is both embarrassing and sucks a lot.
And it's just like the perfect storm of what the South represents with the whole like gender reveal party and like fireworks and.
Yeah, man, you shoot the guns to reveal the gender of your baby or something.
Well, it was a border patrol agent, so I don't feel bad.
Yeah, that was the whole confluence of.
Anyways, that's the 3 of us. I'm Corbin. I started a wildfire. I did it. That's Jason and DJ.
Oh, I forgot we're podcasting here.
Who's the 4th person here?
I made it. Once again. I said I'd be back on it
a
once
wild Ryan appears?
Well, we have a host in addition to our guest.
Wow, a Ryan Bushard is here?
Bushard!
Yeah.
Wow, welcome back.
Cool, man. Good to have you on the podcast.
Gotta make an appearance every once in a while. It's been a month or 2 or more.
It might have been more, yeah. For those who don't know, Ryan is one of the original hosts of the podcast, and it's crazy we can actually say that now because we've been doing this long enough that there are a bunch of listeners who probably don't know.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I've run into those people at GPs. It's great. I'll see them wearing a shirt, and I'll go up and say something to them, and they like have no idea who I am. Yeah. Makes me super happy, actually. I enjoy those people.
We almost had the full special, the Ryan and Marcel duo rejoining the cast, but it didn't quite happen this week.
We're going to make that happen, though.
The podcast Demetrius himself.
That's, yeah. Wow, and then you'd really be outnumbered, DJ. It's bad enough when it's 2-1 in favor of host first guest, but imagine when it's 4-1. Ryan's actually more senior host than Jason.
Not anymore.
No?
He's got way more
In
episodes.
terms of episode quantity.
No, just
he started before me, but I've done like 100 more episodes.
Well, isn't that how you measure seniority?
I don't know. How do we measure
first?
seniority?
It depends. Am I on sabbatical or did I leave the podcast?
You definitely left, but I don't know. I think it still counts.
All right.
I don't know how they measure.
Considering like the 50% of the listener base that was lost after like the episode went out saying like so long and thanks for all the fish or whatever, and everybody thought that the podcast was done forever after episode 203. Yeah,
that is true.
Wait, what happened?
People thought the podcast ended.
Yeah, the podcast, the title of the episode was like so long and thanks for all the memories or something, and so like a third of the listener base just thought the podcast was over after 203.
I forgot about that, but
the
DJ's
title
right.
and the description.
Yeah, we had a huge drop off in listeners, and we're slowly getting them back.
I think even like Marshall Sutcliffe, who used to listen to the show, someone I see every week and knew that I would still talk about podcasting, actually thought the show had ended.
Huh.
Yeah. Go figure.
Does that mean people are manually getting the cast every week and not just like having it sent to an app?
Well, remember, I think we also around that time might have had some issues with our RSS feed.
Well,
that's true.
I think some people just like unsubscribed from their RSS feed after.
Yeah.
They're just like, they just unsubscribed it from their podcast app or whatever.
Do you think about that? Was 100 and change episodes ago now. So it's been 2 years.
There are people that don't know we've been doing a podcast for the last 2 years.
Yeah, they see episode 317. They're like, "Oh, it must be episode 17 of season 3." It's like, nope.
They have no idea that we're getting around to reading their email 5 years later.
Sooner or later, somebody will. Somebody's going to be like, wow, that was me from 5 years ago. Thank you for... I've been listening all this time. Now I can finally die in peace.
But how amazing is it going to be for those people who, thought they... like the podcast was over and then they discover us X number of years later. They have, 3 years worth of podcasts to catch up on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, Andy, our intern, only started on episode 200 something, and he's going back and re-listening to all the old episodes. So
wow.
Shout out to Andy the intern.
I hope he didn't start at 1. Started at 20.
He did.
Started like 20.
We need to pick it up on this intern business. Everyone who has an intern makes them do embarrassing stuff for laughs on their radio show or whatever, and we're just being nice to ours.
You're being nice.
I'm not nice to him.
I mean, I'm nice to him too.
I'm gonna just Google embarrassing intern jobs or something.
Working with you.
Oh, got him.
Job's already hard enough. Don't make it worse.
Take that, Corbin Hostler.
Let him have it because he's new here.
Oh man!
What a zinger!
Welcome back anytime, right? Podcast favorite guest.
Jason, didn't you have a story for us that you wanted to start off with today? I was ready to hear this.
Okay, so as you know, I have an almost 3-year-old. She's precocious, and I don't like that she thinks she's smarter than I am. It's cool that I have a smart kid. She's very smart.
Does she think she's smarter than you, or is she smarter than you?
I don't know yet. I don't know how to test that. But the fact is, she hasn't proven that she's definitely smarter than me, so the fact that she thinks she is kind of shitty. So we're potty training her, and once we started potty training in earnest, it only took a couple of weeks. She was just sort of like, all right, mechanically, I get what I'm supposed to do. And for a while there, she didn't think she could poop in the toilet. She's just like, I can't handle it. I don't understand what I'm supposed to do. We're like, you just sit on the toilet and then poop comes out. And she's like, I can't do it. So we started bribing her with gummy bears, right? Like if she went and pooped in the toilet, she would get gummy bears. So for a while there, we would wait till poop was just hanging out and then put her on the toilet and then it fell in. We're like, you did it. She's like, it's that easy? Fine, I can do this. So she wants the gummy bears because...
This is a very graphic story.
Whatever, man.
For our listeners.
You started a wildfire.
Dude, it's the least... Right? That was pretty great. I didn't destroy 20 acres. I just destroyed a kid's butthole.
Wildfires are good. It's good, man. You got to reset the land.
Well, anyway, we're resetting the land at my house. I don't know what that means.
Yeah,
we're fertilizing.
Sure, man.
So she said she couldn't do it for a while, and then now she's like, "Oh, I get gummy bears every time I poop a little." So she just will release a little rabbit turd, just like one little, oop. There's enough poop in the toilet to technically qualify. So she's walking around with a stomach ache probably because she's been holding it for weeks, just filling up on gummy bears. And she thinks, oh, I'm outsmarting him. I'm just pooping a little. I'm not doing a full thing just so I can get more gummy bears in a weekly period. But she doesn't realize she's getting a ton of reps in, so she's potty training herself.
Successful.
Yeah, so she thinks she's outsmarting me, but really she's outsmarted herself. And she's has got way more reps in, so now she's an expert at potty pooping. And she won't let me pick her up. She will just stand on the squatty potty. Shout out to those guys.
Those guys who dropped us so hard.
Well, we weren't performing.
We never know. We got no communication. They paid us money and disappeared.
Yeah, well, that's what we want, right? If only all of our sponsors could have that little oversight.
I sent 2 follow-up emails. I was like, hey, we really loved working with you. Just curious how it went.
It took 6 months to get it together in the first place. They don't seem organized over there.
Yeah.
They're too busy making another commercial with a unicorn shitting in an ice cream cone or whatever. So she has a little blue child toilet. She hates it. She just throws that off. She sits on the adult-sized toilet, taking up 10% of it. Just it takes a little dump, and then she's like, oh, I pooped a little. So one day she flushed because she knows how to wipe and flush. So she wipes and flushes, and she comes out of the bathroom and says, I pooped. And I was like, yeah? are you sure? So I went in the bathroom and there's no poop in the toilet. So I was like, I don't think you pooped. And then I checked her crack and she had wiped. So I was like, I don't think you pooped. And she didn't get mad. She didn't cry. You know, like a 2-year-old will cry for no reason, right?
Yep.
Like, you gave me the wrong kind of applesauce. So like she didn't cry. She just kind of looked at me like, all right, I'll have my revenge, sort of.
She's just plotting until she's a teenager and she can.
So the next day,
your life.
the next day, she doesn't ask me to take her to the bathroom. She just goes in there, and she comes out naked, you know, Pooh Bear in it, just wearing a shirt, and throws her pants and underwear at me. And she's like, I need help putting these on. Like, she can take it off fine, but she can't put her pants and underwear back on. So she throws that at me. And so this one day she comes out of the bath, the next day after the, I guess, gummy gate, because I didn't give her gummy bears because there was no evidence. She comes out of the bathroom holding a shit-covered wipe and just puts it in my lap.
You deserve that.
Yeah, I really think you got played there, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did that to yourself.
She's like, oh, you need to see? Oh, is this enough evidence, Father? Can I have gummy bears? I'm like, all right, let's go play the hand-washing game. Let's both
Nice
go play
work.
the hand. I'll throw in a load of laundry and...
Dude, bribing kids is great, though. It's what we do, too. It's the only way to try to get them to...
Yeah, she loves gummy bears more than she likes not having her own poop all over her hands, so... She's going to learn to wipe before she learns to put her own pants back on. I'm going to send her to
The title of
preschool.
the episode is something about wildfires and poops, or if it's just Lilliana poops, so that when people think it's about magic and it's going to be weird.
Yeah.
It's going to be not about magic, and it's going to be weird.
Hey,
I'm worried about sending her to preschool because,
No.
like, she knows how to poop and everything, but she's just going to, like, walk out of the bathroom naked and throw her pants at her teacher.
Yeah, look, man, I know to a lot of you this story probably sounded really weird, but to anyone who has kids, you're like, yep, that all makes complete sense. Checks out.
I don't know if anybody else's kid's like, oh, you need to see? Oh, you'll see some shit, Dad.
My kid does like to tell me that he isn't poopy and that he has gone to the bathroom so he can get some candy, but it's the same thing. He'll sit on the toilet and say, I did it, and he hasn't done anything at all.
Kids are liars.
They are little liars, man. That's why people talk about kids cheating at Magic, and you're like, I don't hold it against them when they're an adult. All kids cheat at games. You know, like, that's just what they do. They don't have the right, risk reward, whatever factor things in your brain going. That was a very scientific statement I just made.
I just love the idea of her pounding gummy bears on top of a stomach ache because she won't poop in a regular amount.
Nice. Well, anyways, everybody,
Speaking of Corbin's life being a wreck, we are going to make his chair a wreck too, because...
Oh, good call.
The Patreon...
Okay, so we set a Patreon goal at our Patreon, which is at patreon.com/Brainstorm Brewery, where for as little as $1, which works out to 20 or 25 cents an episode, you can have access to the Discord server where we tell all of our baby poop stories and other things. Share some dank memes. Corbin's wrong about politics a lot. We talk about
That's how you want to sell
sports.
the Discord channel right there, buddy.
Oh, if you want to see Corbin be wrong about politics and get roasted from both sides, have at it. So we think that's very generous, giving everybody who's at $1 access to the Discord, but we think we're going to make it very attractive to be locked in at $5. So if you're at $1 and want to consider bumping up to $5, now is the time to do it. We're going to do special Patreon rewards for everyone that's at $5 above going into 2019. And that is because at the $5 level, Patreon will ask for your address so we can send you stuff. If you're at $1, we don't get your address. We can't send you anything. So we think if you're at $1 and you've gotten a kick out of the Discord and you want some of the other stuff, we consider jumping up a tier or two. You'll have access to other stuff like some exclusives. You'll have access to these drinking glasses at the $20 level. I'm sick today, so no beer. I'm just drinking liquor. You can drink liquor out of them too. It's my cough medicine. We have playmats. We're gonna do a new playmat here pretty soon. We have new tokens all the time. We're gonna be way more on top of that than we have been. We just every couple of weeks we get together and talk about how to make the Patreon more worth it for you guys. We're really thankful for everybody that's in our Patreon, and we're gonna make it even more worth it in 2019. We're gonna add a bunch of new stuff. So if you're on the fence, I would get locked in, and I would recommend $5 or above, because there are going to be some exclusives going into 2019. You're going to want to get locked in before the start of the new year. So that's the Patreon pitch.
As for the Patreon party, we are still waiting for Corbin's employment status in 2019.
That's a good way to
determine the Grand Prix / Magic Fest at which this event will be at. So we would love to reserve a convention center hall or a room or a series of underpasses under the highway in advance, but we are still waiting on logistics and scheduling in terms of Corbin.
Yeah, and
under the bridge downtown. That's where I burned that chair.
We need to be at that level for I think at least 2 months to actually lock it in. So,
but we're not worried about you guys regressing. We think we're just gonna go. Just keep going up. We're making the Patreon worth it, and you guys are rewarding us by getting ever closer to our wives coming on and talking crap about us.
That's true. We are well on the way to that now. And we
got a lot of new
those
of you that are new here and are wondering what other goal the 1750 was and wondering what the chair memes are about. Well, Corbin has had this chair since Brainstorm Brewery episode 1. And it squeaks a lot, and our editor JJ will finally get his revenge on the chair with fire and brimstone.
Probably just fire. I don't know where you'd even get brimstone.
It's Oklahoma. You go spelunking and go get it.
There you go.
That's fair.
Every time you go spelunking, there is fire. That's true.
Look, I just want to know who's behind all these parody accounts.
How many are there?
Look, well, my favorite, and this one stopped being used, is Corbin Helm Commander.
I think that was our old editor.
Okay, yeah, the banner image is a giant sea turtle. It's pretty sweet. But now there was one in the past that was like an actual impersonation of me. That one I actually had to shut down. But now there's Corbin's chair, and I think it's pretty funny.
I think Corbin's chair is JJ, considering JJ is the only person that likes his tweets.
I agree. But also, JJ told me to get WD-40 for the chair. I eventually did. But then I decided that, well, basically I just thought to myself, fuck JJ.
Wow.
Not marry or kill?
Yeah, and then I didn't use the WD-40 on the chair so it could continue to squeak. It was basically that was the thought process. You know, I wasn't like, hey, we can make it a Patreon goal, or this will be a cool meme, or whatever.
No, you were just lazy.
No, I had the WD-40 here. It would have been really easy to do it. It was really just to tilt JJ a little bit more.
Well, I feel like you tilted our listeners, and everyone was sending us emails like, hey, when's Corbin going to fix his squeaky chair? And the fact that we incentivized you guys to basically pay us to get a new chair. DJ broke his chair. Corbin's chair is going to get set on fire. Hey, I wouldn't mind a
Herman
look at
the chair I'm using right now. It's great.
Look all I can say is a sincere thank you to all of our listeners for going along with the prank on JJ.
Yep. And we will reward you by squandering your Patreon contributions on new chairs and a party and I guess alcohol for my wife to come on the podcast.
There's a reason I'm not using this chair right now, and it's because it is broken. It is completely...
What did you do to your chair?
I didn't do anything to it. I leaned back in it, and it just... The mechanism snapped, and now it's just...
You weigh 40 pounds.
Yeah, exactly.
I know. So, yeah, that is...
And you don't even sit on the back. You sit in the chair like an anime character.
What are you talking about?
You do. Really? Yeah, he does.
That's because you're so small.
Yeah, dude, he sits in the chair like the detective from Death Note. It's really annoying.
All right.
Yeah, that's a reference. All right. What's podcast?
Anyways,
what do you say, fellas?
Well, it turns out there was some more that went on this week.
No, there wasn't. Shut up.
There was a Magic Arena announcement. It's a big deal.
And it's It's a big deal for people who listening to this podcast don't care about.
Maybe. I bet they care about their Magic Online
We have
collections.
so many listeners. I feel like we have a real cross section of the Magic community. Let's not say what our listeners care about or don't care about. Let's just assume that they're smart because they listen to this podcast.
Of course, yeah. So, I mean, you guys saw, though, the Magic Online apocalypse, right? The announcement happened that, for people who don't know, the very brief TLDR is that there is no longer such thing as a Pro Tour. There are Mythic Championships, and Mythic Championships can be either tabletop or arena. There's also the Magic Pro League, which is 32 of the top players in the world playing arena against quote-unquote challengers, whatever that will be. And that's the new world of competitive Magic, and I think it's pretty cool, pretty exciting. I have no idea what it means for me in coverage work, but I think it is pretty exciting, and I'm excited to see where it goes. So that's that. I mean, this caused people to go, Magic Online's not being talked about here, as if they're somehow shocked at this point that Wizards made an announcement at a major esports show and it was about Arena and not Magic Online. I don't know how you couldn't have seen that coming. But regardless, people were fire selling. The bots actually stopped buying cards because of how bad things got. I mean, how scary is this if you're on Magic Online?
I mean,
No,
I don't think it should be that big a deal.
No.
I don't think freak out, and I think people. There was so much tumult that I think it was MTGO traders for one day was like, "Hey, until things settle down, we're not going to buy stuff," and then they started buying the next day. But everyone's like, "Oh, they're not buying."
It was like I think it was MTGO traders and also
Card Hoarder,
I believe.
Yeah.
Like it. I mean, people were freaking out about it, but I don't.
Well, they also
know.
had internal conversations with the people who were making those announcements and the team that was on Magic Online. They had discussions internally to be like, hey, make sure that the business didn't just like fall apart overnight.
Right.
So
yeah,
if they weren't like scared and fire selling their own stuff, then I wouldn't be too worried. Like, it's people make such a big deal out of every little announcement in this entire
it's crazy
industry.
Yeah, well, and the thing is, if you look, if you have cards on Magic Online and you're concerned about the value on there, wait till the prices bump back up in Modern Season and then get rid of them, because the future is Arena. That's clear. But, whether that means you get another 2 years out of MTGO, or 5 years, or 10 years, or longer, it still has a purpose.
I think there's some stuff on MTGO they'll never port over to Arena.
Yeah, when they add every set in existence and every format that MTGO has, when they put all of that onto Arena,
which they're not going
worried.
to.
Well, yeah, then you should get
not
worried
right away.
At
At least.
Do you think they want to try to code like Sylvan Library and Graveyard Order and all that garbage into Arena?
I think they will eventually.
They didn't even successfully do that in MTGO.
Yeah.
Look, I don't, I think MTGO is basically just going to die of inertia. But that's not, that takes a very long time. It's not that Wizards is going to kill it. It's that it's just going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy where people start having a harder time finding games and that sort of thing. But
they're going to starve. They're going to starve it to death. They're not going to give it like a toaster bath.
And as long as Modern exists and it's not on Arena, then MTGO is going to have a very large built-in user base.
And there's no reason not to have both, especially if you have a collection.
Yeah, I play both. I record on both. I enjoy both platforms.
I play both as well. Although I will say I've been playing more Arena.
Well, Arena's just better, but...
Yeah, I mean, I really, unless I just get, like, most of my Moto time now is, like, when I get sick of playing Arena.
What are you doing on Arena, Ryan? What are you playing on there?
I've been mostly just drafting lately. I haven't been able to keep up the standard enough to really, want to play anything, but I have drakes and stuff put together. I mean, the decks I have on there are fine. It just...
What do you think about the economy? What's your impression of it?
I don't hate it as much as everyone else does. I do wish there was a way to dust the cards that you don't want, to be able to turn that even towards more wild cards or something like that. I think the fact that they kind of put you in this situation where you really have to put the whole set together before you can really go anywhere kind of sucks. But I think the rest of the economy is fine. I think the wild card thing, while weird, is acceptable. I don't have any issue with it.
I like the wild card idea. I like the idea that you don't destroy your cards. They definitely need to fix the 5th card problem, and they definitely need to fix the issue where, related to that, where if you have a card that's a reprint, this doesn't matter now, but say the next time Shocklands get reprinted, if I already have 4 of them or whatever, and I'm trying to get the new one, it involves in drafting, because if you have 4 of it, they make you less likely to get another one. So it's just going to get weird. There's just lots of issues they need to solve relating specifically to that part of the economy. But I'm glad to hear you don't hate it. I think most people have come around to it.
I think most people that hate it are the same people who are going to complain about legitimately anything. I just quit listening to those people because there's like minor bugs and stuff, but these are the same people who were just like 3 months ago talking about how they'd really play anything but Magic Online, right? So
Ryan, I have a question for you.
What's that?
How do you not engage with those people? Because that's something I struggle with.
How do I not engage with those people?
Yes.
DJ will take literally any bait.
So I will say
DJ's worse.
I will say the first thing I did was I took Twitter off of my primary home screen, and I forced myself to go onto it when I'm actually interested in reading about things rather than just randomly. Because when you have a purpose for getting onto an app, you tend not to get sucked into all the garbage that's involved with that. So I mean, that's been my personal strategy. Might not work for everybody, but that's also probably the same reason that I'm also not very active on those things. So take it with a grain of salt.
I block and mute people. I mute key phrases. I mute people's screen names. I just I don't see the kind of people that piss me off.
I don't like doing
and the kind of things that people say. Yeah, you like getting in a dumb argument where, dude, arguing with people on Twitter is like playing chess against a pigeon. No matter what you do, the pigeon's going to strut around like it won and knock the pieces over. So, what's the point?
That's a pretty good analogy. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's different based on which platform you're talking about too. So, Twitter especially. You can block everybody. I don't like doing that though because I feel like you end up in that. I don't want to say the
echo chamber.
Yeah, but you definitely kind of do. And the problem is too, I might not agree with some people on some opinions. So say Magic Online, I don't agree with their opinion at all. But this person may be a really good modern player, and I'm curious to see what they're playing. So you end up
DJ, you should just
kind
go
of shouting out good opinions.
Just go look at their profile.
Yeah, I mean that's part of it too. Go
no,
look and see if they're just engaging it off in a one-off argument, or if literally all they do on Twitter is.
Well, you're right. They're gonna have some stupid sock photo. They're gonna have 19 followers, and they're gonna spend all day shit posting. That's what it is. I'm obviously still pretty bad about engaging with people.
We're of the same blood. We can't tolerate the fact that other people are wrong and don't know it.
My problem is that my problem is that I believe that people will agree with me if they are shown the reasons to it. I'm very
right. You don't like the fact that people are wrong and are unaware of it.
Yeah, but it's not like I want to be like, oh, you're wrong.
You don't want to seem arrogant about it, but that is it.
Well, it's I don't know. I feel like
you want to take the moral high road about it, and it's really empowering and it feels great. You want people to know that they are wrong.
Yeah, but in a nice way sometimes. But then they're not.
Yeah, but that's not going to work. You're already being aggressive by telling someone they're wrong. They're going to play defensive. It's the internet.
Yeah,
no one has to conform.
I've gotten a little better about it because I've also just realized that for all of us as a public or semi-public figure or in Magic or whatever you want to call it, no one's ever going to remember who you're arguing with or what shitty things they said to you. They are going to remember how you responded, though.
They're going to remember you shouting at some Twitter egg.
Right. And even if that egg was being terrible to you, that's not what anyone remembers from that incident 2 years later. They're just like, oh, I saw that guy be whatever, right? Or I saw them
shitty to this random, because it even looks worse when it's a random person.
Well, it's not even like that. They're not even going to be like, I saw him be shitty to someone random. They're just going to be like, I saw him be
shitty.
Yeah.
Right, but towards someone random is even worse, is what I'm saying.
Well, the thing is, but my point is, usually those people deserve it. But no one's
100%. Those people definitely deserve it in most cases, but the general public is just like, oh, they don't know how to control their temper. It's always on you.
That's the biggest
as the personality
thing that's helped me is that I, just have to remember that we're playing it for different stakes here.
Yeah, I mean, they have nothing to lose by engaging with you shitty. Like, that's another part of it, too.
All right,
and it's not to say that like, people aren't worth your time, just use your time wisely.
You guys want to do some breaking bulk here?
Breaking bulk time. Breaking bulk time. Break.
Oh, yeah, breaking bulk. There's so much good stuff.
It's a pick. Breaking bulk. The end.
I got a good one that you're all gonna.
Wait, Ryan, are you ready to play this game?
Breaking bulk?
Jason's gonna hate it.
Does Ryan have any idea what we're talking about?
You're supposed to pick a card out that's like no one knows.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been on the podcast a handful of times in the past year, Corbin.
Just
because you haven't been here doesn't mean I haven't.
Ryan's been on here as many times as Corbin since July.
All right, go ahead, DJ. We'll let you go first.
I will start off with the heavy clue that it is a basic land.
I hate you so much.
It is from the early 2000s, and it is a forest. Guess which set? And which art, if you can, but...
Onslaught.
Mirage.
Nope. Mirage was
the
not
early 2000s, Corbin.
I don't know.
Early 2000s.
It's not 2000s. It's not
so
that
from,
Rob
like,
Alexander
from, like,
forest.
2000, it's within the benchmark of like 2000 to like 2004.
This is so
forest.
Stupid. No one cares.
There's a $4 forest from Onslaught. Are you sure it's not?
Kamigawa was not in 2004, dude.
Kamigawa was 2004.
Champion of Kamigawa came out in 2004.
Jesus, that's an old.
Because it was right after Fifth. It was like the Fifth Dawn, early 2004.
I thought it was like 2007. Okay.
That's lore. That's when you start like.
No, when he started like.
Yeah, I like how Corbin was trying to shut me down with his knowledge of magic and just.
Didn't Corbin start in Innistrad?
No.
It was Shards of Alara. I know when he started better than he knows when he started.
I very technically started in Shadowmoor.
Okay. Let me think.
Wow, it's been 12.
Is it a Rebecca
years.
Gay forest?
No.
And it's not the Rob Alexander one.
It is Jerry Tirtolini. Jerry Tirtolini.
All right, man, I'm stumped.
Odyssey.
Oh,
actually.
Okay.
And it's a very specific autumn scene. It almost looks like the Avacyn Restored Dryad Arbor, kind of.
Is that okay?
It's got like the orange and yellow trees in the background. It's very.
That's why people like it, because they like to attack for one with it.
Yep.
Well, the foil's worth like $10 or $15 or something absurd, but I mean,
because it looks like
even this
FTV.
non-foil forest, this one's obviously HP, so it's not really worth anything.
What about this mountain?
But the Odyssey Forest 249 out of 250 is worth around $1.50 on TCG Players. So if you just find like a stripe of these in basic lands or something like that, or bulk basics, and you throw just 9 or 10 of them in TCG for 99 cents, they will sell eventually.
I'm gonna throw you a bonus pick of the week here. You got me looking at Odyssey. The 346 mountain in Odyssey is $2.50.
Yep.
And climbing, literally since Guilds of Ravnica, it's gone up $1, which is really interesting.
I mean, that's probably just like a stock issue.
I'm sure it was like a buyout or whatever.
It's like a TCG issue.
It was one dude bought 40 for his cube.
No, it's actually been. Well, there was one big jump, but the market price has been coming up on it. After that, so whatever the issue it is, I mean, it is legitimately selling at that price.
Cool.
That's kind of cool.
I just hold on to my basic lands. I don't sort them. I don't sell them. I just hold on to them, and I don't know what to do.
I gotta pay them by like pre Shards of Alara and post Shards of Alara.
I should probably do that
because the pre Shards ones are the ones that people specifically ask for sometimes. And they're like the ones that are more likely to be worth it because there's no basics like post Shards that are actually worth anything unless they're full art, really. Except that Avacyn Forest.
All right. That's a good one.
I've got one for you guys. DJ is gonna love this one. Ultimate Masters White Common.
You mean the one that you did 2 weeks ago, or no?
What do you think I'm gonna say?
I mean, are you baiting me with Martyr of Sands? Or?
I am definitely baiting you, that's for sure. It is not Martyr of Sands.
Okay.
Gross.
I mean, what was the original set? Because that's how we do this.
Yeah.
It's fine. The original set will give it away, unfortunately, but that's fine.
Well, then it's a bad pick of the or a
Yeah.
bad breaking bulk.
No, it's not. It's been reprinted multiple times, so you can find them. It was originally in Rise of the Eldrazi. White common.
Hyena Umbra?
Was it Hyena Umbra?
It is Hyena Umbra. Yeah, I just thought it was interesting. That's actually the third most expensive common in the set, behind Kodama's Reach and Faithful Saluting. And the other versions of this card, it was printed obviously in Rise of the Eldrazi, but then also in Plane Chase 2012, and then Plane Chase Anthology, I suppose. And it was
It was in the
$1.50 before.
Krond deck.
Yeah, it was $1.50 before. So this is going to be. I mean, these are literal, throwaways after draft. But people will pick a lot of the uncommons and stuff, but Hyena Umbra here is just throw away and be 50 cents, or who knows, maybe we'll even settle up at $1, but probably more like 50 cents.
It's not going to settle up at $1 or 50 cents.
You don't think it's going to sell at 50 cents? You think a $2
market
card...
price or buy list?
Do what?
Market price or buy list?
Market price.
For the Ultimate Masters one?
Yeah, and I'm saying you pull them now, and 6 months or a year from now, they've probably rebounded. We've seen a lot of Masters cards do that.
Yeah, it's free money.
Like a whole bunch of Masters cards.
I mean, I'm not saying go out and buy these, but if they're going to be in draft chaff, just pick them up off the table. It's free money.
Yeah, I mean, look at
Yeah, mine's also a Ultimate Masters pick, so I feel the same way.
All right, go ahead, Ryan.
So mine is a card that's been reprinted. This will be the fourth, maybe fifth reprint. It is a gold card from Ultimate Masters. Go with that.
What rarity?
Common. This time.
Okay.
And that's the reason it's a pick.
Well, they're only... What? Is it double cleave?
Nope.
No, it's not a pick.
Fire and Ice?
Double Cleave used to be.
Yep.
I don't know what...
Fire Ice.
Fire and Ice got a rarity downshift.
Okay, yeah.
Yep. And I think that's going to be huge for your Pauper. That card is suddenly legal.
Don't they go with
I
the
don't think this
online,
card's
the Magic
good anymore.
Online list?
It doesn't matter now. It has a common printing.
Yeah, he's right. That
Is that how that
Magic
works?
Online works, I think.
Yeah, like it was already legal in Pauper,
Well, the bigger... Oh, was it?
wasn't it?
Was it?
Based on
Why?
like a Magic Vintage Online thing or something, maybe?
No clue.
I don't know. Our local group doesn't play that way. Like they just now started
I have no
using
idea how
them.
Pauper
And-
legality works, but I do know that
It's based
Foil
on Magic
is-
Online. Because that's
Foil
why
is now
Chainer's
part of
Edict
the
and what's the Battle Screecher and Tangle are legal.
Yeah.
That's fair. Well, I mean, I guess it depends on your group. Then. So maybe that one's bad. But
Also,
as
that
far
card's
as
just
our
not good in
local group
Pauper.
Whew.
goes, I've heard people disagree with that a lot. But
Yeah, but those are people that don't
I
even
play
know what
Pauper.
Pauper legality is based off of, so...
Sure.
I don't know.
All right,
I'll
fine,
give it to
shut
him,
it down.
man. Oh,
Who's next?
it's a breaking bulk. He's rusty.
It's true. I mean, I could pick another one, but I'm out. Who's next?
Here's an easy one. Red Guilds of Ravnica Uncommon.
Lava Coil?
Get these in bulk all the time. Don't know why.
Was I right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're $1.75 on
Crazy.
TCG Player.
You know, Dive Down is $1.
Yeah, isn't that nuts?
That's insane.
Some of these cards are like $1 buy list, and I just get them in bulk all the time.
You know
people
what
are
it
like,
tells me?
whatever.
Yeah, you know what it tells me when I see that Dive Down is $1? I mean, it's 78 cents market price. It tells me that Magic is having a really good fall. A really good big fall set release.
It's true because I mean we're seeing cards like Charter Course and
Siren
the
Stormtamer
Siren
was
was
free
running.
for
Yeah.
whatever.
There's a lot of Ixalan stuff
But
that's just
that's what I'm saying.
real
Seriously,
solid.
when a common that isn't even everywhere, it's in a lot of the Dimizid decks and it's in the mono blue tempo decks, but it's a common from a set that's still in print or very recently was still in print, and it's $1. The only thing that explains that is a big influx of players since Ixalan. Whether that
I actually didn't know this card was worth $1. I thought it was like a 10 center.
Yeah, this is recent. Like this is over the past couple weeks. It's done this, so yeah, it's crazy. I don't know if it means that just that Ixalan was bad, or if Guilds of Ravnica is particularly good, or if it's Arena or whatever. But it feels like a pretty exciting time for Magic, and it makes me think that 2019, with everything going on here, is going to be very good. But of course, that's assuming that, and this is my belief, that Arena will bolster the paper market rather than drag it down.
It should. I mean, there's no guarantee, I guess, but it should.
Yeah, I think it should too.
Yeah, like Duels of the Planeswalkers, as much as that wasn't competition, a credible digital product that was accessible drove growth. So I think even if like Arena might take some people out of paper, it'll bring so many new people into the game in general that we're like besound.
Yeah, well,
we're bound to see some residual new players.
See, the big thing about it is I don't think it's taking anyone out of paper.
No.
And that's the difference. Like, you're going to gain some new paper players, but I don't think you're losing any, because think about the group of people, like, the only people I know who are like, oh man, I'm ready to leave Paper Magic, I don't have time for it, aren't standard players. They're legacy and vintage players, and sometimes modern players. They're people who have like real jobs, are doing these things, you know, and just don't have time to play Magic. Those are the people getting out.
Yeah,
and
I think
those people, Arena's not a substitute for them.
Arena will be a substitute for people who are leaving Paper Magic. But those are people who were leaving Paper Magic anyway.
Correct. Yeah.
Over the past several months, a lot of the people I've talked to at GPs are like, "Oh yeah, I'm selling out of Magic. I mostly play Arena now." Like before Arena, it was like, "Oh yeah, I'm selling out of Magic, whatever." But like now, it's just being replaced by Arena. Those people, like, you still have that cycle of in and out of players coming in and leaving the game. It's just now when they leave, they have an alternative. And it's also just easier to get sucked back in if you have that alternative.
Yeah, and a lot of people are free to play on Magic Arena, so like it's not even a money issue where you have X dollars to spend. A lot of people will play Arena for free to play, and I think it's just going to be huge for the paper game. I don't know. I'm looking, and we haven't even touched what the esports push will do here with the $10 million in prizes, blah 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 blah. I think we're gonna have a very good year next year for Magic. So.
I'm more scared of the esports thing than anything. Like, I'm a little worried they're going to focus too much on that. The problem with Magic is it's just not the same as every other esport. I mean, we've discussed this before.
But it is the same as Hearthstone, and except it's a better game, and Hearthstone does very well as an esport.
I mean, yeah, I definitely see
Blizzard money.
Hearthstone makes a lot of money.
Like,
Valve is making Artifact. There's all these there's Eternal, there's all this, card games have actually been proven industry-wide at this point, I think, to be a viable video game, a viable esport with a lot of it. So I think it's crazy. And I think that we've gone from a world where, and I talked about this in my Arena video on TCG Player this week, but we've gone from a world where, as Magic players, we look at Hearthstone and go, oh my gosh, wouldn't it be great if we were Hearthstone? But now we have Arena, and I think Hearthstone might be looking at Magic and going, wow, I really wish we had a paper game, because they do nothing but prop each other up. Magic is so much more sticky than Hearthstone because of the paper.
Yep, you get people to invest, and then they're like, I got all these cards.
Well, yeah, but it's also, the social aspect of it, right? You don't exactly see people hanging out with friends every Friday to run a Hearthstone arena run. They play Hearthstone. It's what they do. It's a video game to them. But people who play Magic and play paper Magic, it's a lifestyle, and that's why
a lifestyle.
That's why they're such valuable. The average Magic customer, or D&D, I'm sure as well. Like, they're just, the lifetime value of a customer to Wizards of the Coast is so much higher than a lot of other businesses because of how sticky it is. So. There's just no way this, and even the Arena players are going to be buying packs or whatever to get codes for Arena, so they're going to end up with paper cards anyways, and then they're sucked in. You can't play Commander on Arena. That's something that you're always going to have to do with friends. Like, there's just so much synergy between the two.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see them, and I'm hoping. I mean, I shouldn't say like to see, because it's not something they've shown yet, but. They're doing these like singleton formats, and they're kind of pushing not necessarily Brawl, but that more casual ability to still play standard and enjoy standard cards without having to build a tier 1 standard deck. They're really pushing a lot more of that on Arena, and I'm hoping that by doing that we can kind of revisit some of that stuff in real life too. Because people, if they've already built that deck online, they're already comfortable playing that, then maybe it'll convert over a little better.
Well,
I mean. Brawl was fun for the short time it lasted, and a lot of people were into it, and all of a sudden it just wasn't a thing.
Well, I think Brawl, I don't know. I think
they mismanaged the ban list for that one quite a bit.
Yeah, and I think that's why Singleton is probably a better option.
I like Singleton a lot more than Brawl.
Yeah, I think Highlander has always been strong. and I don't think it's gotten any worse.
Brawl
with
is
time.
just
I think
never
the new
not going to
set-
feel like bad Commander.
Yeah, EDH is like the movie Highlander, and Brawl is like the movie Highlander too.
All right, did we do
Reference
all the
DJ
breaking
doesn't
bulk?
get, but did laugh at.
Jason, did you have
I-
breaking bulk?
I get the reference even if I've
Mine
never
was
seen the
Lava
movie.
Coil.
Oh, okay, yeah, we got through them all. Well, the other thing that happened this week, we went from having nothing to talk about last week to having a crazy busy week this week. But it seems like we're at the bottom on Ultimate Masters, right?
I
Sure.
don't know, because if you look at price
Some of
trends
it.
from other master sets, sometimes they took a year to bottom out. If you look at
I-
price graphs, so yeah, I think it's probably a short term buy in. I think you might be able to wait a little longer to pay a little bit less on some of these things, but on average, I think it's probably the best time to buy, because some stuff will go up and some stuff will go down more. So I think it'll be a wash. So
Yeah,
there's
I mean,
probably
if you
no
go
point in
to-
waiting.
If you go to MTG stocks and go to, a lot of people don't do this, but if you actually click over to the market price tab rather than the regular tab in terms of increases, it's much, much more telling. And it is just completely filled with Ultimate Masters cards that are up 5 to 15% just in the past day. So, and we're recording on Tuesday. You'll get this episode on Thursday or Friday. This seems like the bottom for now. We might hit another. We don't know if there's going to be a second. I don't think there's going to be a second printing, but there might be a second wave. There might be a more of a sell-off in the week before Christmas or whatever. People need last-minute money. I don't know, but it very much seems like we might be at the bottom here. So I think it's time to
I think
buy
getting
in.
this podcast a day early and getting information like this early is valuable, and I think that's why people should subscribe at the $10 level to our Patreon.
Yeah, I mean, some of these,
I will
have
work a
rebounded
pitch in. I don't
fast.
give a shit, man. Yeah, some of the stuff does go pretty fast, and we feel bad recording on Mondays. Like, people are gonna get this till Friday.
Yeah, well,
If you could, if our editor's feeling ambitious, sometimes you get it like Wednesday at midnight. So I would subscribe if you plan to make any moves based on our advice. I think buying it at the $10 level to have access to the podcast early, or the spreadsheet where you see what our picks of the week are before the episode comes out. I think being at those tiers is going to be valuable to you personally.
How much do you guys appreciate the narrative shift on Ultimate Masters here?
I don't appreciate it because people were arguing with me, and then I'm right, and they acted like that was their opinion the whole time.
Yep.
And that pisses me
Yep.
off. That they were wrong
Which
twice, and they were
narrative
acting like they're right twice. So no,
The
I don't
part where
appreciate the
everyone
narrative
was
shift.
complaining about the MSRP, but the MSRP. Oh wait, it's available for this much.
Oh wait, you can get it for $250, the same as before, and it's just done incredible things for prices.
Yes.
Like Vexing Devil
Oh,
is
you
$3.
know,
Like
there's
people being wrong
insane.
and not admitting it is that's Corbin's
Through
big
the
issue.
Breach Through the Breach hit 12. These were $40 cards. This is it.
Not Ancient Tomb. Phyrexian Altar was 60.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's not.
100% based on scarcity.
This set has been so good.
Phyrexian Tower was like 40. Now it's not.
Yeah.
Gaddock Teague was 40. Now it's not.
Yeah, this set has just been great for Magic. Saffron Olive had a good article up on this today, looking at what it's done to the prices across the modern format as a whole, and it's just been extremely positive. So now's the
You
time
know
to
it's
buy
bad
in.
when people disagree with him.
Do what?
You know it's bad when people disagree with him.
Yeah, it's actually interesting because I know sometimes he goes along with the popular opinions on stuff that maybe we disagree with, which is fine, obviously, but. It is when people come out and when he says something correct that we know to be correct, and then people disagree with him, that's when you know that they're just wrong. They're just never going to agree with. They're just never going to listen to anything, because he's sort of the voice of the people, and he's very good at that. And if they don't want to listen, if they're not going to take it from him, they're not going to listen to anybody.
Well, every one of those people think they're the voice of the people is the issue.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think Seth does a great job at addressing the things the community wants to talk about at the times they want to talk about it, and I think he very often does a very good job at it. So when people, when he has positive things to say, or this has been good for this, and people just want to say, oh no, but screw Wizards anyways. Well, That's when you know that's just those are the people you need to ignore, DJ. All right, so let's move on to.
You see how good I was? I sat here and didn't say shit the whole time.
Good job, Jason. Let's do pick of the week. You guys ready?
Pick of the week. Pick of the week. Pick of the week. Time for the pick of the week.
I got a spicy one that I can't believe hasn't gone up yet, and I may just throw a couple $100 at it.
Okay.
Should I go first?
Sure, go ahead.
I mean, now you are.
Okay, well, this is a very powerful card. It's predicated partially on Niv Mizzet being the most popular commander, but this goes in all kinds of decks where you either cheat or pay less mana for your spells or no mana for your spells, or combo off in one turn. So decks like Narset, Mizzix, Jwara, every Niv Mizzet, Locust God, Kruphix, Azami, a lot of decks are using this. The card is Enter the Infinite. You just kill everybody.
You picked this last month.
Last month?
Like a month to the day.
You picked this before.
Well, why hasn't it gone up, you sons of bitches? Why is it still $4 on TCG Player? That's fine. I'm picking Omniscience then. They go together like peas and carrots, and Omniscience just got a reprint.
That's a good pick because it just got reprinted and is cheap.
Yeah. Omniscience then. Fine. You need both most of the time, so screw it. This is a reminder to buy Enter the Infinite. What's wrong with you? Why isn't it more expensive?
Omniscience was my pick 2 months ago.
Don't listen to him. Fine.
Who made you like this? Fine, Primal Amulet. Eat my ass. I got tons.
All right, let's control F Primal Amulet just to be sure.
I think you're safe on Primal Amulet.
No, I
also,
know.
That card is sweet.
I don't pay $10 a month to the Patreon, so I don't have access to the spreadsheet to check if I picked cards.
I think you do have access to the spreadsheet.
I'm not. I shouldn't. I don't deserve it. I don't give any money to the Patreon.
And he's definitely not going to look at it. That's what you're for, DJ.
Yeah, it's like Corbin's show notes. I'm not going to check it just to avoid embarrassing myself. Well, End of the Infinite was a good pick a month ago. It's an even better pick now. Omniscience was a good pick 2 months ago. It's an even better pick now. Fuck it, Primal Amulet. There you go. You get 3 picks. If you have access to the spreadsheet, you had all 3 of these picks days ago.
Great. All right, good pick.
So
Those were all solid picks.
All right.
I know what I'm doing.
I think it's safe to say that Ultimate Masters has a bunch of cards we could pick. I think some of my favorites are Vexing Devil at 3, Eldrazi Conscription at 2 or 3. But what I'll say, I think the one, and I don't know if this is, I don't think it's a cop-out. I don't like picking cards this expensive, but I think it's an important enough card to a lot of people that it is worth talking about. But I think now's the time to pick up Demonic Tutor. It's the first reprint we've got of the card in
10 years?
No, well, whenever
the Dual Deck Anthology was
the Dual Deck
Anthology
Dual Deck
was like
Anthology.
5 years ago,
yeah,
4 years ago.
So whenever that was the last time we got it, and I don't know, it's 20. There's just no way this card doesn't rebound faster than everything else. You know, I can talk about all these other cards that are bottoming out, and it's a whole bunch of them. We can talk about Noble Hierarchs or whatever. It's just when I think about the card that probably is just the just safest guarantee to rebound, it's probably Demonic Tutor. So I think 20 is the floor on Tutor, and I think it's important enough to a lot of people that it's worth making a pick of the week.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't want to pick something boring. Like, I think everybody knows that Eldrazi Conscription is going to go up. I was going to pick that, but I decided against it. So I'm just going to pick one of my little pet cards that could eventually be in a YouTuber content brew, or could eventually just have another card printed to break the card. Sort of like a Necrotic Ooze or a Heartless Summoning S card. And this one's Mirror Superion from New Phyrexia. It is a 2-mana 5/6, which are Tarmogoyf numbers. But you can only cast it using mana created from creatures, so like Devoted Druid or Burning Tree Emissary or Birds of Paradise, or with Heartless Summoning or something like that. Modern's a very fast format. People kill each other on turn 3 all the time. And I think Wizards just one sort of oopsie card away from making this card just a flash in the pan modern deck, and whether it sticks or not is anyone's guess. I mean, Hollow One.
No,
was a
you
flash...
want to have the cards ahead of time, and when it goes up, because you want to sell into the hype.
Yeah, like Heartless Summoning was a flash in the pan modern deck with Eldrazi, right? Hollow One was a flash in the pan deck that turned into an actual meta pick until Dread outsped it. Mir Superion is just like this $2 card from a set from forever ago, literal forever ago. And it's just that kind of card where if Wizards prints the right thing in Ravnica Allegiance, or puts some kind of weird banning out or unbanning out that like maybe this card just is like, oh, this is $8 suddenly. Where's my 1 copy when you could have had 10 copies?
Yeah, and the thing is, Blue Steel exists too. And that's the deck you're talking about, kind of, right? That would apply to Mir Superion.
It could. I mean, there's a lot of different flavors where I've always wanted to be like, man, what if Burning Tree Emissary just gets another, or like, what's the other Eighth Revolt Burning Tree Emissary, the Revolt one?
I know what you're talking about. But
where there's just every time they print just like one creature that makes mana, it's like, does this get there? Right. And I mean, we don't need to have the card in multiple copies of a Chop 8 and a GP. You can just have like some YouTube content creator be like, oh, here's this wacky fun deck, and then you see Pelt Collector at $8 for a weekend, that kind of thing. Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and this Blue Steel deck, it was really cool when it came out. Ethereum Sculptor, Chief Engineer, Grand Architect. These are all ways to cheat out a Mir Superion, and it saw a little play in that at the time. And that is the kind of thing that could randomly spike a classic or something on a Sunday, at an SCG event with Mir Superions in it, and then send it off too. So I think that's a pretty good pick.
That was the end of the cast. Go home.
Yeah.
Turn it off.
Oh, I don't get a pick of the week.
Ryan, what do you got, man?
All right, so I think my pick of the week this week also has to do with Ultimate Masters reprints. Not a card in the set itself, though. I think Grizzlebrand is set to do some good things with all the Reanimator stuff becoming so cheap. Everyone thinks, oh, it's been reprinted a couple times, but it's also been a couple of years now since we've gotten that Grand Prix promo. They're sitting at a solid $10. The regular copies are solid $8. And actually, the one I would target the most is probably the Avacyn Restored Foil, just because the original set foil, you can still pick them up around $20 to $30.
Really?
And, yeah.
I'm not. Avacyn foils have always just been questionable in my that set in particular. The foiling process is just
I gotta figure out if I'm replacing.
But I think being original set for those, I think makes a big difference, especially being that cheap, because you got to figure if regular copies spike, the original set foils will start being worth quite a bit more.
I have Avacyn Restored Foil Caverns in my Merfolk deck, and I'm trying to figure out if I'm supposed to replace them with Box Topper Caverns.
Yes.
I think so too. It gives me an easy way to get out of the crappy foiling.
If you go Masterpiece, I think you have to go 100% Masterpiece, and that's that Masterpiece level card. Like Masterpieces, Mythic Guild Planeswalker thingies, and Box Toppers, I think are all the sort of same type of foil in terms of exclusive. And
I do have Invention files in there.
Exactly. That's why
the real question for me is, JSS foil Lord of Atlantis or Judge promo Lord of Atlantis?
7th foil.
Probably JSS.
I don't like the 7th because if I'm gonna do something like that, I'd rather have the original iconic Lord of Atlantis art.
Or just play Alpha Lords.
Because they're not, the whole deck's foil, and if I have non-foil cards, it's a logistical issue.
Can't you just play Alpha Lord of Atlantis?
No, but that's what I'm saying. They're not foils.
You say as foils.
I know, but Alpha's like the most high-end...
Yes, I understand that, but it creates a logistical problem.
How often do you play that deck?
What are you talking about? I played in tournaments, and in tournaments...
Right, so what year? What year was it? Who was president the last time you played that in a tournament?
Anyway, so the Judge promo Lord of Atlantis is cool, but the JSS promos the JSS foils are sweet.
No, you get both. You get one set of Lord of Atlantises, you get the JSS set to play with, and then you get the Alpha set to swap out when you're showing people the deck, because those are two different functions.
That's a good
When you're showing people the deck, like, look at my Merfolk deck, you want to show them the most dollar amount, but when you're playing it, you want to go for the highest function per most dollar amount.
All right, DJ, I'll keep that in mind, actually. Good advice. I don't even know what an Alpha
Don't
Lord
be sarcastic with me. That's good advice. That is good advice.
I'm not being sarcastic.
You don't even know what you don't.
It sounds like you're being sarcastic.
Him up once he sees the price.
No, I'm actually not being sarcastic. Like, I'm going to look up what the price of an Alpha Lord of Atlantis is.
You're laughing.
You're going to decide.
You're laughing.
You can't to get Lord of Atlantis.
You can't say you're not being sarcastic when you're laughing.
It is an Alpha Lord.
I'm going to guess like 5.
The JSS promo's 35.
I'm gonna guess 500 for an Alpha Lord for like MP.
I'm gonna guess more.
I'm gonna guess less.
I mean, I don't really know. It's gonna be hard. Let's see what's actually on TCG Player here.
Well, TCG is not the place to go for Alpha cards.
I mean, I understand that, but it's the only thing I have easy access to right now.
You can eBay it.
I can get a Moose Loot is selling a $900 lightly played Lord of Atlantis from Alpha. So maybe I'll just
yeah. There's one on eBay for 500.
Maybe I'll hope to find some of them in the bulk I have at my house unsorted. Maybe that's my plan to get Alpha Lords.
Sold out at 900 on Star City.
What does MKM have? MKM is better for Alpha stuff.
Yeah. For anything old school.
It's crazy. Yep.
Yeah, but they don't take freedom dollars. They want that crazy monopoly money with
you
pictures
can
of
get
scientists on it.
The other thing about MKM is they use fucking emojis for condition. They make fun of us for the metric system, but they use emojis for condition.
Yeah.
This COD, the condition of this COD makes me a frowny face.
No, seriously, but then you see some of them, they're like, LP, and then you see like the emoji shows LP, and then you go click on it, and it's just ravaged. Like, what the hell?
People are gonna think LP is that Italian lira? Like they're not gonna know what the letters mean.
No, Corbin, there's like an MP HP Alpha Lord on MKM for like €350.
That's pretty good.
Exactly, that's what I thought.
Yeah, that is pretty good. Yeah.
Try to get the one from Moose Loot for 500. Talk him down. I'm
just gonna find some in bulk.
I mean,
you guys
will. You'll get them in bulk. That's your life.
Yeah, you guys would have told me that if I needed guys' cradles to just buy them, but instead I just found them in bulk.
Yeah, we were wrong to tell you to buy guys' cradles.
Yeah, it was much better.
You found cradles in bulk?
I found 2 of them in bulk not long ago. Yeah,
you're a sicko.
I'm thinking I'm the shit for finding lava coils, and he's like, "Oh, is this good?" He sends us a picture. "Oh, is these bulk?"
To be like, if we're talking group picture quality,
you
you send us
make
pictures
that
of your
noise,
daughter's
too.
poop.
I did send you guys pictures of a turd, and you deserved it.
That all happened. That's accurate. Yeah, Ryan. I was just looking through really old bulk from some person who had told me cards, and I found a cradle in this old elf deck, and I ran outside and I was excited. And I told Marianne, she was working in the yard, and then I went back inside and I found like Helidamri and like a whole bunch of other like reserve list or whatever, at least legends cards or just old expensive elves, and then a second cradle. So yeah, it was a pretty good
so
day.
those of you watching a YouTube channel can see Corbin stroking himself right now. That's great.
Oh, I'll show you the cradle. You're right. Good call. Hold up, let me get the cradles.
I didn't sell.
Nobody wants to watch you stroke your cradles.
I got them right here. Everyone can see.
Corbin's a cradle robber.
That's my cradle.
Jason,
what you do is you go back to that
used
person and
the
be
words,
like,
destroy a kid's asshole on this podcast, so.
I said butthole innocence. I think you'll find.
What? It's a cast, everybody. Thanks for listening. Brian, thanks for coming back on.
Yep, no problem. I think I was glad to be here.
That's how I feel every week. Alright, everybody. Thank you for listening. We will be back next week with, you know what? I'm not even going to promise you no poop stories because who knows?
Well, there'll be poop stories. Jason's on the podcast.